Hi, I'm Lynn. Welcome to Cooking with Lynn. Back in my kitchen again, cooking for the library. Today I'm making coconut shrimp. It's a pretty quick and easy weeknight meal or anytime meal. Usually I serve it with rice and a vegetable. You could put it over polenta or couscous or just serve it as an appetizer with a dipping sauce. I'm going to make a dipping sauce, and there's all kinds of different dipping sauces that you can make with it. So I'm going to tell you what you need, and the recipe will be posted and we'll get going. Alright, so obviously shrimp. I've just got some over there. It's already peeled and deveined. It's just got the tail on, which is good if you want to eat it with your fingers. You want to keep the tail on so you can pick it up. And these are a little smaller than I would normally want to get, but it's all I had. So you really don't want to use cooked shrimp. You can, but it's better to use uncooked shrimp. You're going to be cooking it again. If you use cooked shrimp, it might get tough and a little rubbery, so best to start with uncooked shrimp. So what I did was I just rinsed it off and put it on a paper towel. The key to keeping your breading, making your breading stick, is to have it dry. So and you could do this with chicken too, but you want it dry. So what I did was I salted it, and that brings out the moisture, and then I'm going to pat it dry again with a paper towel real quick, and just to get the moisture out so that the breading will stick. So just quick. So I salted it, as I said, to season it, but also to pull out the moisture. So just pat it dry. All right, and there's not a lot of magic to this. It's just a regular breading station, just like you would if you were going to bread something, chicken or shrimp or whatever. And but you're going to add, instead of just having like breadcrumbs or panko, you're going to add your coconut to that. So so what do you need? I've got some flaked coconut, unsweetened flaked coconut. Bought this for something, I don't even remember. Probably a dessert maybe, I don't know, but I had it, and then I was like, well, I don't want to throw it out. What am I going to do with it? And so I said, I'll make some coconut shrimp. I made it a few times. It's really good. A little bit sweet. It's yummy. So flaked coconut, panko. You can use regular breadcrumbs if you don't have that. You need flour, not too much. Eggs. So this is what they call a Feb station. Flour, egg, breadcrumbs, and as I said, to your breadcrumbs you're going to add the coconut, and then you can add some crushed red pepper to your, so you would add flavoring to your flour, or actually you could add it to the breadcrumbs too, but I usually would add it, so you would add like salt and pepper or some kind of spice. You add it to your flour. You don't have to, you can just do salt and pepper, which is what I'm going to do, and then your flavor also would come from your dipping sauce, which I'm going to use apricot preserves. You can use peach, you can use orange, whatever. You can find recipes for other dipping sauces. And then I'm going to put a little of this red curry paste, which I never would have bought, but then I made my curry courtesy of my son, who came up here from California and made it for us, and now I'm using it on different things. It's spicy, but I don't use a lot, so it's all good. And then I'm going to use some lime juice just to kind of loosen that up. All right, I think I said everything. If I didn't, you'll see it in the recipe. So obviously what you need to do is have some oil. I'm gonna use coconut oil because it's coconut shrimp, and why not? You can use just regular vegetable oil or canola oil. I'm just going to get that in the pan, and then I'm going to start making my Feb station. That's flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. I don't know if you've ever heard that terminology. I'm going to start with that. This has to melt, obviously, but I don't want to put too much. It's not really deep frying. It's pan frying, I guess you could call it. So let's start our Feb station. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'll get out of the way. So flour. Sometimes it's hard to tell how much you're going to need to coat everything, but flour's cheap enough, better too much. That should do it. Probably too much. I'm going to salt and pepper that. Just, that's where your seasoning is. And again, you can put red pepper flakes or something else to season it. I've already salted the shrimp, so I don't want to put too much. So I'm already a mess. And then this is your egg. 2 or 3 should be enough depending on how many shrimp you're coating. I'm going to give that a beat. And then get the messy. Let's do this. All right. Give that a beaten. That's good. And then the B of the Feb station is the breadcrumbs. I'm using Panko because it's nice and crispy and gets a little brown and crispy in there. And then I'm really just eyeballing, but I'll give you some real measurements in the recipe. That should be good. You want to make sure it's probably even coconut to Panko ratio if you're adapting. Oh, that looks good. Yes. Okay. That's that. I'm not putting crushed red pepper. You can if you want. So it can be a little messy, but you are, let's see, can I use this burner? I always like to put it real close because I'm going to throw it in there. The other thing you can do is to put it on a sheet, cookie sheet with some parchment, and then fry them all once they're all breaded, but I'm going to fry them as I go. And take them out as they're finished. You're going to want to do it in batches. You're not going to be able to put this all in the pan at once. So let's get that shortening melted. Like I said, you can use vegetable or canola. You don't want to use olive oil because that's going to start smoking. It doesn't stand up to high heat for a long period of time, or butter either. Coconut is good because drive home that coconut flavor. So let's get that going. We can start getting our shrimp breading. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. Little shrimpies. This is a good size. It would be a good size for appetizer. It would make a great appetizer. So let's throw these in here, nice and dry, and just coat them. See what I'm doing? Probably not. And then we're going to get them in here. Get everybody in the pool. It's messy. My hands are going to be super messy. And I always tell myself I'm going to keep one wet hand, one dry hand, but it never works out. So it's all right. Get them in here. And then get them coated real good. That'll be our first little batch. Get them in there. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Wipe my hands. And I think my stove is uneven because my oil always ends up going on one side, but you want to get it. What's that noise? Something's happening. I'm home. Oh, garbage man. Okay. You want to get it nice and hot because you don't want them to just sit there in oil and absorb the oil. You want them to start frying right away. Need a little more. Hard to tell with coconut oil because it's solid and you don't know how much it's going to make. So now we got to let that, excuse me, we need to let that get up to a nice temperature. And how you can tell if they're ready, if it's ready, is kind of just throw a little in there, and it didn't start frying right away, so it's starting to fry a little bit now. Or you could use a test shrimp, throw it in there, and see if it's frying. It's almost there. And at some point it'll probably get too hot and I'll have to turn it down. That's okay. I'm going to serve it with rice. I probably already said that, and I've already started cooking the rice, and it'll be for later because it's morning right now, so I'm not having coconut shrimp for breakfast, but that's okay. And so because we're going to eat it later, I'll just put it on a cookie sheet and I'll just put it in the oven to rewarm it. You don't want to microwave it because you probably could, but it won't. The breading won't be crispy, so that won't be too good. So I'm going to test that again. Yeah, we're good now. I'm gonna actually try to be neat and use a whatever this is, tongs. Can't think. There we go. You see that? Frying away already. Already too hot. You can see it's starting to smoke. I don't know if you can see that, but so keep an eye on your heat. It's starting to brown too fast. And you turn it down, and shrimp takes just a couple of minutes on each side to cook, so it's nice and easy. So while that's doing that, we can get some more in. Some more guys in here. Keep an eye on them. I can already see. Like hot spots. The nice thing about keeping the tails on too is you can grab the tail to turn them. Getting nice and brown. See how fast that was? And give them another minute. Turn that down again. Get these guys going. Definitely not a meal that you put anywhere and walk away. You have to babysit it. Anytime you're frying. And again, you can do this with chicken. What else do you fish, maybe? Anything really that you bread and fry. So these have to come out. So they get too brown. I definitely have hot spots here in my, I don't know why. Alright, let's give that one another minute to get brown. And then we're going to really turn this down now because, like I said, it's going to just keep heating up. And we'll get that out of there. So let's do another batch. I'm going to put a little more oil for two reasons. I need more, and also to cool down the pan a little. It's really hot now. Let's get some more oil going. Do another batch. Then I'll pause and finish them, and I'll show you my dipping sauce. That'll be it. Super easy. Alright, batch 2. Pan is really hot, which is good. You want it hot, just don't want it burning hot, screaming hot. Probably, I'm sure there's a recipe for this for an air fryer. A lot of people have those now. Okay. Probably going to need more breadcrumbs. I have quite a few more shrimp. You can always add as you go. No big deal. And they're quick, so I'm going to keep an eye on them. They look good. They look yummy. They're so sweet. Hot. Really yummy. I don't even need a dipping sauce. You need to flip them once. And you don't want to manhandle them too much because all the breading will come off. And the breading sticks to it real nicely. The back of my pan seems to be hotter, so let's give these guys a chance to cook. out there with the second batch. And then I'm gonna finish them up. I'll pause, and then, like I said, I'll show you what I'm making for a dipping sauce. So easy and yummy, and possibly things you have in the house. I mean, I'm gonna put the Thai curry paste in there, but you certainly don't have to. You could just do the preserves, or maybe like a mango salsa kind of thing with cut up mango and cut up red pepper and maybe some either chives or green onion. That would be yummy. Flip these guys one more time because they don't seem to want to get brown back there. These guys are done. Grab that little tail. Almost there. I'm having to flip these guys a second time because they're taking their time browning. This little guy doesn't have a tail. I think I should eat him. It's so sweet. Almost there. All right, let's pause. I'll be right back. All right, I finished frying up the shrimp, and they came out nice and brown on both sides. And what I did was, while they were still hot, I just put a little bit of light coating of salt on them, and they're all ready to go. I mean, that would be a nice little thing for appetizer for a cocktail party. Put some dipping sauce and some toothpicks, and that's super yummy. And I've actually never done that, but now that I'm thinking about it, I might do that for the next party we have. So I'm going to make a sauce to go with it. I am going to, like I said, use apricot preserves, some Thai chili paste, and some lime. That'll help loosen it up a little bit too. So let's get going. So obviously, adjust how much sauce you need based on, you know, how many shrimp you have. You can always make more, I guess. Just gonna do, probably about half of this jar, so maybe a cup. And I'm just gonna use, that strong smelling, just about, I'm gonna go with like a teaspoon, and then some lime juice. I'm just gonna do half for now. I'll taste it. A lot of people like spicy things, so I'm sure this will be a good dipping sauce. Leave out the Thai chili paste. Taste it. It's not spicy at all. Not at all. So I do want it a little bit spicy. If you've watched my videos, you know I'm not a super spicy person, but I can take a little bit. Still not spicy. Well, come on now. So I'm up to about a teaspoon and a half-ish, maybe almost 2. All right, let's do it right. That's really good. That makes such a great appetizer. But it's going to be dinner for us. Like I said, I have some rice. Fluff that up. Make some broccoli, and there's dinner. It's a little messy, but it's worth it. And like I said, do it with chicken. Do it with some other kind of fish. Super easy. It's a pretty quick weeknight meal. And I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. And also come back again in 2 weeks when I'm going to do Irish soda bread, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. And then I'm doing, what am I doing? Something. I'm doing something else, which escapes me right now. It's early in the morning, you know. All right. Come back anyway and subscribe to our page and go to our Facebook page and all that good stuff. Check out what the other stuff we're doing. We have another cooking-ish thing, which is Spice Club, which is great. learning how to use all different kinds of spices, and you can actually pick the spices up at the library, and you'll have them to use. So check us out. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Come back soon.